A garden. The tunnel's cross-section is taller in Section 2 to accommodate a split-level arrangement. Entry from Section 1 brings one out onto a mid-level platform. The upper level houses a grow center for fungi. This contains rows of substrate inoculated with mycelium. These specimens have been bioengineered for self-sufficiency, providing nourishment to personnel stationed at TEL-022 long-term. Caution. Some fungi are strictly for medicinal purposes and may have adverse health effects if consumed. These specimens are clearly marked. The lower level serves as a laboratory with multiple rooms for containment, observation, and experimentation. Much of the equipment located on the lower level is valuable and sensitive to disturbance. There is clear signage documenting emergency procedures for contamination. Check panic before proceeding. Dang, this is huge. The mid-upper level is black, apparently. Okay. Wow. So I guess this black part is the upper level catwalk, and all of these little rows are the mycelium plants. And then down below is all the equipment. Alright, so let's give this old cat a listen here for room number 3. Or section number 2, rather.
Section 2A.
This platform is more rickety than I would like. The lower level looks entirely flooded.
Wow, great.
I've been upstairs. The place is filled with thick mist. The air tastes like bitter earth. I was expecting cute red toadstools, something like that. These mushrooms have grown in tall, lanky clusters. They look like bony figures standing there all in neat rows in the dark, dripping. It's unsettling. Flashlight's playing tricks. I keep seeing something pale in the corner of my eye. Person creeping, but there's no one there. Those mushrooms towering over me. I never liked mushrooms. The map shows an exit at the end of the level, but I walked around and around, getting myself worked up like a lost kid, and I never got there. Finding the steps back down to the entrance was a fluke. I just feel tired. It's all quiet. Just the dripping.
Section 2B.
I've been in that murky water. What's it been? An hour? The lower level isn't less of a maze than the upper one. There's a bunch of strange gear down here. Machines and tanks. Some of them had animals inside. Dead. So dead I couldn't even tell you what they were. I read the labels, mostly nonsense to me. Stuff about Beamish particles. Pretty sure there's a whole area on the north side I didn't even come close to. Several sections down here where I had no choice but to submerge to proceed. Visibility under that water is about 0. Honestly hard going. The whole thing felt like a good way to get myself killed. I should have a guideline like cave divers do. You know, those guys who get trapped tight in the bowels of hell and aren't found again for years. I'm rambling. I'm shaking now. I think the cold's got into my bones. There. I've turned on the lights. I think I hoped they would have made me feel warmer.
Okay. So he references the particles. Where was it? Beamish particles. So that was something in the hazards that we saw. That I didn't read about them because I didn't want to spoil myself. So let's go back up to the hazards up here. He references the Beamish particles. So let's read about the Beamish particles. So UPB 154 lies in the Stroop belt, so Beamish dust is assumed to be present in the atmosphere. These runaway nanoparticles were originally designed for proof of concept terraforming, so they're man-made. Of course they are. They are a well-documented nuisance, clinging to living matter in visible clusters, and sometimes causing localized and uncontrolled, though thoroughly largely benign growth. The medical term for it is terratomata. For the most part, the dust particles retain their original logic to avoid human beings. On first exposure, you may feel discomfort and dizziness. Documented cases of growth interaction in humans are uncommon and not currently well studied. Official guidance recommends personnel report for a medical examination on return from UPB 154. Okay, so it's something that can attack you apparently. Disadvantage to hit because they're tiny. You have a 10% chance of irregular body growth on contact. Whoa, jeez. And you take a fear and then stress from that. Dang. Shibas Christo. Alright, so section 2 then. What do we know about section 2? Section 2, we know. First of all, these Beamish particles. Okay. And they have combat 35, instinct 15. Instinct basically takes the place of all their saves. 1 save, 1 wound. I mean, 1 hit point, 1 wound. They're disadvantage to hit. And then 10% chance of irregular body growth on contact and requires fear save. Okay, so hopefully we don't have to do that part. I'll look at back up if we do. All right, so jeez, this not good. Not good at all. So the garden. All right, so upper levels, this part, and he couldn't find a way down to the exit from this upper level. So it sounds like we're going to have to go down to the lower level. So we know that there's no exit from upper level. It is full of tall mushrooms. Some of them are dangerous. I've got an idea about that. The lower level is flooded. And there are tanks with specimens. I've got an idea about that too. And what was the other thing here? That's where the Beamish particles were, possibly. So sounds like the biggest risk. Oh, and he said he may have saw someone creeping. Pale face, he said. Or something pale. Person creeping. Creeping creeper. A few things that piqued my interest about this is some of the fungi are strictly for medicinal purposes and may cause adverse health effects if consumed. These specimens are clearly marked. So what I'm going to do, first I'm going to look for danger, right? Okay, yeah, that's obvious. I'm really shaken up right now. I'm going to look if there's some stress reduction specimens. I'm going to read some of the labels, these mushrooms, and see if there's something I can take to lower make me relax a little bit, even if it gives me a slightly malice effect as well. I think it might be worth it if I could reduce my panic, because right now, my stress, because right now it is getting really high. It's up to 9 already. Now, once per session, I could get advantage on a panic roll instead of disadvantage. Would cancel it out basically, unless I can get my current panic down, which probably I still have several minutes. So first thing I'm gonna do is when I come in, we're gonna do a quick check. I'm gonna look around with my flashlight. Is there any immediate danger I can see in the area. So I'm gonna roll first a 90. Shoot. That's not good. That's gonna be a positive result. Alright, so that's gonna be a 40, which is gonna be a positive result. Alright, so a 40. Oh, shoot. Yes. Artificial intelligence. So, oh my god. There is something dangerous in the area, and it looks like something of an artificial intelligence of some sort, or logic or miscommunication. So, while I'm looking around with my flashlight, I notice on some of these grow beds on the fungi are computer terminals. And whenever I start looking at the computer terminal to do a little search, there is an AI aspect of the terminal that then interacts with me. And the AI helper at TEL022 is named Ari. Although long periods of inactivity and in the absence of human interaction, Ari is believed to be unstable. Previous reports have described the AI as manipulative and occasionally cruel. It is not known whether Ari has working access to the site's security systems, and when restoring power, it is possible that Ari may attempt to communicate with personnel. There are a variety of responses to Ari's Hello World function that could possibly cause it to reboot in diagnostic mode. Interesting. And some of it is seeking binary code. It's interesting. Okay. So, Ari may not be able to be trusted. And I'm surprised that these grow beds are powered, but they must be powered by something besides the normal power generator. The normal power generator that turns on the lights must be for like the main. These must have some sort of backup to keep these grow beds, watering and everything in case of a power outage. So it looks like when I'm interacting with the console to try to figure out if there's any safe mushrooms I can use, that Ari then contacts with me, and it's not a verbal prompt that it's just text. Like, I can't hear him verbally at this moment. Maybe when I turn the power on, he'll be able to interact with me. But right now, he basically comes in and is going to try to interact with me. So he basically says, welcome to TEL022, The Garden. I am Ari, your artificial assistant. How may I assist you today? So I'm going to ask Ari, are there any edible mushrooms in the grow beds? All right. So I'm going to ask Ari that. Are there any edible mushrooms in the grow beds? Let's see what Ari says. We're going to roll for Ari on the Oracle page. He comes back with a 30. Oops. I typed in 30. He comes back with a 30. And he says, yes, but please be aware that the medicinal mushrooms have some negative side effects. Okay, great. I mean, I already knew that from the description in the garden. Okay, so I'm going to ask Ari here, is there specifically a mushroom that will lower stress? And he says 17. No, but there are some that will lower your body temperature. Okay. So I'm going to ask him, if I eat the mushrooms that lower my temperature, will it lower my stress? Oh, let's see what he says to that. 100. Holy crap. 50. Yes, but it could affect my vision. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I'm going to say, how will it affect my vision? Let's see what he says. 38. Oh, snap. Medical support, health, and sterility. It will make my vision sterility. It will make me see in black and white or lower contrast. Okay. So it might affect how I see things. Okay. That's fine. I'm going to type in what grow bed contains these mushrooms. And then he says, he gives me a number, 2A74. So if we look at 2A74, we can walk over to those mushrooms and find, well, get a sample of the mushroom. Okay, so I'm gonna type in, do I have to prepare the mushrooms before consumption? What's he say to that? 14. No. But it might, if they're not prepared, it might make me feel too suppressed. Like, it might make me feel like too lackadaisical. So I'm going to go ahead and using my flashlight, I'm going to walk on over to the grow bed that he indicated. And while I'm walking over there, do I see out of the corner of my eye or anything signs of someone creeping around? No. But there are lots of little small confined areas where someone could be hiding. So I have to be aware of that. So I'm going to go on over to the mushroom bed indicated, to a whatever I said before. And I'm going to take a sample of this mushroom and see if I can break a piece of the mushroom off. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a roll, and I'm going to take a sample of this mushroom using strength. No, I'll use intellect with rimwise to see. Well, I don't really know anything about mushrooms with rimwise. That's more about stuff. So it's probably just going to be a straight intellect check. So we'll roll an intellect check, 2d10. I still have disadvantage at this point. So we'll roll 2d10s. So that's a 12. That's good. And a 76. Oh, dang. Dang it. So I failed. So I go ahead and get another stress. Now I'm up to 10. 10 stress now. Holy smokes. Okay. So I failed my intellect check. So I do take a piece of the mushroom, and I'm going to go ahead and eat it. And I'm going to flip a coin. And I'm going to say, well, I better do a dice. I'm going to roll a D100. If I get over a 50, so 51 or higher, it will lower my stress by 1d6. If I get lower than 50, it increases my stress by 1d6. Meaning I got the wrong mushroom, or Ari was lying to me, or something. All right, here we go. Over 50 is good. so close. I got a 50, but I said it had to be over 50. No. Dang, no, Ari, curse you, Ari. So I take a bite of the mushroom, and instead of feeling relaxed and slowed down, instead I start to feel even more stress. And so, instead of just rolling 1d6 stress, let's just roll a fear save. And if I roll a fear save, or maybe I should roll a body check, actually. Let's roll a body check. And if I fail the body check, then I will gain stress. If not, I'll be okay. So the body check, I don't think I get to do any skills with that. It's just a straight 31. Still have disadvantage. Dang. Okay, so I'm going to roll a 30 and a 36. We have to take the 36, which is a fail. God dang it. Really. 1d6 is a lot. Let's roll a 110. Let's roll a d10. And if we get... Now, let's see. Yeah, let's roll a d10. And if I get a 6 or higher, I roll a d6. If I roll a 5, I'll roll a d5 of stress, a 4, a d4 of stress, d3 of stress, d2 of stress, which would just be a 50% drop, and our d1 will be just 1 of stress. So we're going to roll 1 d10. Oops. Here. All right, 1. Good. So I just get 1 stress. Oh, jeez. Oh my god, I'm up to 11 stress. Can't read it, but it's 11. Oh, this is a really poorly designed PDF. I'm just going to put it down here so I can read it. Okay, so, oh, dang, incident, mushroom. Let's roll a d10 for that. And 1d10. It's a 9 again. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I got a 9 again. Which means I have to roll a panic. What the heck? Panic. Please get over 11. Oh my god. 14. Alright, we're going to have to find somewhere to rest. We're going to have to find somewhere to rest. This is nuts. Alright, so I'm going to do a check here. And I'm going to say, look around around the fungal beds. And can I find somewhere to rest for at least 10 minutes? 34. Ooh, refrigeration measurement care. So whenever I'm looking around up here in the grow beds, I come across a small walk-in freezer where they store samples. But since the power is out, the walk-in freezer is not cold. It's just normal room temperature. So I can go in there and I'm going to close the door. And I have my crowbar there, and there's kind of like a latch that goes across. I'm going to jam my crowbar in there so that it can't be opened from the outside. Or if someone does try to open it, I'm going to be okay. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to lay down and rest I'm going to take a little nap for about 30 minutes. And hopefully this will reduce my stress here. So let's take a look and see about reducing stress here. Make a rest save using my worst save. If I succeed, reduce your stress by the 1's digit rolled. If you rolled a 24, under your worst save of 30, reduce your stress by 4. All right, we can do this. So my worst save, I can also get advantage on my rest save by prayer, meditation, or other suitable leisure activity. Interesting. So, I don't think my guy is particularly prayerful. So, what could I do to relieve some extra stress? I have my trench shovel, which is my memorabilia. No, I don't think I'm just going to go for my lowest save, which is a 31 body save. So I have to roll my save here and make a rest save. Reduce your stress by the ones digit rolled. Okay. So I have to, first of all, I have to beat this. 39. Dang. Oh. So I tried to rest. I laid there for about 30 minutes, but ultimately, I couldn't get enough rest to relax and lower my stress. So after 30 minutes of laying there, I've now used up, half an hour of time in here. I could try to rest again for another 30 minutes to see if, let's do it. Let's do one more check because I've got 12 hours of oxygen. I've only been down here for less than an hour already. So I think we can afford another 30-minute rest. Let's go for it. Yes, I got a 1, 0, 1. And I take the ones digit, which is a 1, that's okay. I'll take it. I lower my stress by 1. So now it's back down to a 10 for an hour's worth of resting. Jeez, okay. Oh, man. All right, well, that's fine. Okay, so we get up. We rested. Ari in the grow bed computers. We talked to him. So I don't know if I can trust him. We ate a mushroom, caused more stress. So I'm not going to do that again. All right. So I am going to go back and talk to Ari, and I'm going to ask Ari something. I'm going to say, Ari, are there sub pumps in the lower level that we can use to remove the excess water? Are there sump pumps from the lower level that can remove the excess water? 32. Yes, but we have to first check the compressed air tanks and make sure that they are full to be able to push the air through the pump that would then evacuate the water. So it's kind of like the pumps in a submarine whenever they want to, submerge, or like ballast tanks, so to speak. So, okay. All right, so let's do a little search for these canisters. I'm going to come back out. It has been an hour. And so let's go ahead and we're going to come out of our little rest area here. And I'm going to go ahead and roll. And I'm going to say, do we see any signs of any people walking around, moving around, creeping around? Do we see anybody around? Oh, shoot. 70. That's a high one. That's 20. No. But the unfamiliarity of the mushrooms just look very like alien, it looks very concerning. So at least we don't see people, which is good. All right, so let's go ahead and do a search then. Let's climb on down to the lower level. And the water is disgusting and cold and murky. I can't see anything in the water. But I'm going to look around with my flashlights and see if I can find these gas tanks. So I do some searching around, and I come across a little closet, and I open it up, and there indeed are several tanks in there with gauges. And so I'm going to roll a percentage here, D100, and see if there is gas still in the tanks. 90. So that's going to be a 40. And that's going to be a positive. Yes, there are gas in the tanks. I don't care about the extra stuff here. I'm just checking yes or no. So, yes, there are gas still in the tanks. All right. So I'm going to do an intellect save here. And I'm going to try to follow the pipes from this gas tanks to see if I can find where the sump pumps are. So I'm going to do an intellect roll, and I am going to add mechanical repair to that to see if I can get something good. Still have disadvantage because, oh no, I rested plenty of time, so I'm no longer panicking. So, all right, so I don't have to roll disadvantage. All right, so I got a 23. That's good. 23 is below my my intellect with mechanical repair. So I find the sump pump, and I'm able to turn them on, and the machinery kind of chokes and gags and stuff. But apparently it is not dependent on the power generation to turn on. And they start whirring to life and begin to pump out the water. Now I'm going to go ahead and roll a D100. How many minutes is it going to take to pump out all of that water? 74 minutes. So that gives me a little over an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and go back up to my rest area. We'll say it takes me another 10-15 minutes to walk back to my rest area that I had found. And we're going to spend this hour trying to rest once again for our stress level. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to roll another body save and see if we can get better than 31. Yes. 9. 0-9. All right. So 0-9, that means we can remove 9 stress. Oh my gosh, that was a good rest. That was a lifesaver. So we're down from 10 back down to 1. 1 stress. That was a good nap. So now we've probably spent almost 3 hours here. So probably have 9 hours of OT left at this point. All right. And the water has been excavated from the room. So now the floor is still gross and sticky, and there's sediment everywhere and little like algae bits and things like that. But we can clearly see the equipment of all the scientific stuff and the weird specimens and things. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to search around to see if I can find some ammunition for my revolver. So I'm going to do a search. Can I find some ammunition for my revolver? 84. So that would be a 34. Yes, but measurement care. Okay. So I do find the ammunition, but it is in a lockbox in some of the storage facility there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to use my crowbar to break open this lock and see if I can get to that ammo. So this is going to require a strength check. And I'm going to give myself the industrial equipment roll to help. So strength plus industrial equipment for my crowbar. Let's do it. I got to beat a 46. All right, I got a 20. Fantastic. So I successfully open up the ammo container, and I'm going to roll a 1d10 and see how much ammo we find in there. 8. Holy smokes, yeah. I find 8 rounds of ammo. So that puts me up to 11 rounds of ammunition. So I found, okay, so I turned on the pumps, sump pumps, and evacuated the water. And then we found a lockbox with 8 ammo. Okay, fantastic. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this opportunity to go ahead and eat one of our MREs. I feel like we're doing good. All right, we've turned a corner in the situation here. All right, so what else do we want to know in this room? I'm going to avoid looking at the tanks with the specimens. I haven't seen any humans creeping around. Let's say when I opened up the lockbox, did it make enough noise to cause someone to notice us? Human or not? 24. No. But the activity, they did notice us, but not in a way that's going to affect us. So someone did take note of our activities, but it didn't affect us in any way. They didn't come and look for us or anything like that. All right, so I'm going to guess I'm just going to make my way over to the power generator. Can I make my way to the power generator without interruption? 33. Yes. So organic matter. So as I'm walking through the specimens, I take note that not only are there creatures and things in here, it looks like humans are in some of these tanks. So there's some human beings in some of these test tanks, which is greatly disturbing. So I think I'm going to take a save here due to that. I'm going to take a sanity check on that, or a fear. We'll do a fear. It's scary. I'm going to do a fear save for this, finding these human specimens in these tanks. 61, that's a fail. Dang. All right, so I earned a little stress. Okay. So that's super disturbing. Super disturbing. All right, so we're going to make our way over to the power generator. And I'm going to go ahead and do another mechanical repair and see if we can fix up the power generator and start the lights in this room. So I'm going to roll intellect. Got a 34. That is below my 56. So we successfully turn on the lights. Everything whirs to life. And now that whole room is lit up and we can move on to the next section. And as soon as I turn on the lights, let's check and see if that draws the attention of these Beamish particles. So if I go to our oracle here, and I'm going to say, do the Beamish particles, does the power coming back on, can I see the Beamish particles moving around in any way, or does it draw their attention? I'm going to roll a D100 there, and I got a 60, which is a 10. No, but I can see several particles, clusters of particles, kind of like the will-o-wisps of ages of old in the mythic past, where people would see little beams of light or little spots of light flying around in swamps and things representing the lost spirits of people in that area. I too see these little particles floating around in little clusters over some of the containers in the laboratory section of the of the map. They don't appear to see me or be interested in me in any way. So they're just kind of moving around in their own little thing. And then suddenly, over the loudspeakers in the room, a voice crackles to life.
Hello, Devon.
Ari? Is that you? How do you know my name?
Hi, I'm Ari. Hazmos told me you were coming.
I thought there wasn't any communication between the surface and sat-navs.
The dropship beamed me your information.
Okay. What's going on here, Ari? What is this place?
That is on our need-to-know basis only.
Okay. Okay. Did you know there's a giant crab in the previous section? How are people going to use this station effectively? This place is a mess.
That is not your problem. I need you to continue to turn on the lights. Then I can proceed with my programming.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, tell me this, Ari. Are there any other people on board this station? Are there any other people in the facility?
Other humans are detected.
Okay, and are they hostile, or are they part of your organization, or who are they?
That is our need-to-know basis only.
Why do you keep saying ha? Ha, you keep saying ha.
What is ha?
I don't know. Ari, is there anything else you can tell me about this facility, or can you tell me anything about Project Hellmouth?
Project Hellmouth is classified.
Okay. Do you have ill intent towards me, Ari?
I am only here to help run this facility.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Ari. And, oh, by the way, thanks a lot for the help with the mushrooms. What you told me was wrong. That mushroom did not decrease my stress. It increased my stress.
Human failure is not to my fault.
Okay. All right, Ari. Ta-ta, then. Ta-ta. I guess I'm going on to the next section.
Where are you going, Devon?
I'm going through this door into section 3.
Fulfill your duty and turn on the power.
I will do that, Ari. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so I guess we need to do another panic check. And if I take a look at my panic, or at my stress, I'm currently back to a 2 in my stress levels. And so that's not bad. I do have to remind myself what I need to do here. Panic. Okay, check my panic. All right, panic check. Why am I? Oh yeah, I have to roll a d20. I was drawing a blank there. Okay, I need to roll a d20 and compare it to my stress, which is really low. So hopefully I'm gonna be okay. 19, perfect. Okay, I did not panic, and we can move on to section 3. So I open the door and I proceed to section 3. Thank you for watching Mothership, Module 1000 Empty Light. Next episode, we'll be moving on into the next section. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure and hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next time.